Hi, my name is Eostar Kamala. Before we begin this experience together, I want to take a few moments to talk about what this session is really about, why emotional safety matters so deeply, and why this kind of hypnotherapy can create such profound shifts in the nervous system, in the subconscious mind, and the whole emotional body. Many people today are living in a constant state of internal tension without even realizing it. The body stays tight, the mind keeps scanning, the nervous system stays braced, and over time, this state can begin to feel normal. The person might think, this is just who I am, I'm just anxious, I'm just overwhelmed, I'm just always on edge. But often, what is actually happening is that the nervous system has learned to live in a survival mode. And survival mode is not a psychological weakness, it is an intelligent adaptation. The body and the mind are always trying to protect us. If someone has experienced stress, unpredictability, criticism, emotional pain or trauma, instability or abandonment or prolonged fear, the nervous system begins learning patterns and it learns to anticipate, to scan for danger, to prepare for what might go wrong. And after enough repetition, the body can begin reacting to imagined danger the same way that it also reacts to real danger. The mind becomes future focused, the body becomes guarded, breathing becomes shallow, sleep becomes difficult, relaxation feels unsafe, stillness feels unfamiliar, and many people don't realize that they are no longer reacting only to the present moment. They are actually reacting to emotional memory, the old survival conditioning, to patterns stored in the nervous system. And this is why simply thinking positively often does not work, because the body itself still feels unsafe. You cannot truly force yourself to relax. You cannot shame yourself into peace. And you cannot intellectually argue the nervous system out of old survival mode. The body must experience safety directly. And that is one of the deepest purposes of this session. This is not simply a relaxation recording. This is a nervous system experience, a subconscious experience, an emotional repatterning experience. And the goal is not to pretend life is always safe, because sometimes life genuinely contains challenges or uncertainty or pain, danger. So, real healing is not denial. Real healing is learning how to return to regulation, how to return to grounding and to presence. So, this session helps the body begin remembering something many people have forgotten, what it feels like to feel safe inside of themselves, what it feels like to soften, exhale, stop bracing. Stop bracing against life for a little while. And that matters deeply, because when the nervous system feels safe enough, healing accelerates and the immune system functions differently. Sleep improves, digestion improves, creativity increases, emotional intelligence increases, connection becomes easier, and the subconscious mind becomes much more receptive to positive change. So, this is because the subconscious mind is deeply connected to the autonomic nervous system, and when the body feels threatened, survival responses dominate. But when the body feels safe, the brain and the nervous system shift into states associated with restoration, repair, openness, connection, and integration. So, this is why throughout this session, you will notice repeated focus on breathing, grounding, sensory awareness, safe imagery, and inner sanctuary work. These are not random visualizations, these are intentional nervous system signals. The subconscious mind responds very strongly to imagery, emotion, sensation, repetition, imagination. So, in many ways, the subconscious mind speaks the language of symbols and feelings more than logic. And this is why hypnotherapy can work so deeply. Hypnosis is not unconsciousness. You are not asleep. You are not being controlled. In fact, hypnosis is often a state of heightened inner awareness, a focused and receptive state where the analytical mind softens enough for deeper emotional and subconscious processes to become accessible. And naturally, you move in and out of trance during the day while driving, while listening to music, meditating, falling asleep, becoming absorbed in a memory, watching a movie. So, hypnotherapy uses this natural state intentionally for healing and repatterning. And one of the reasons this particular session works so effectively is because it combines several important elements together at the same time. First, it helps regulate the nervous system physiologically through breath, slowing down, grounding, and sensory awareness. Second, it gently interrupts chronic fear patterns by bringing awareness back into the present moment. Many anxious states are rooted in anticipation, mentally living in future danger rather than present safety. So, this session repeatedly brings awareness back to what is happening right now. Am I unsafe right now? And so, this helps the nervous system separate present reality from old emotional memory. And third, this session creates emotional co regulation internally. Human beings are not meant to heal entirely alone. We regulate through connection, through safe presence, safe voices, safe touch, safe relationships. And so, in this journey, the subconscious mind is offered experiences of companionship, sanctuary, protection, nurturing, and unconditional presence. So, even imagined experiences of safety can begin creating real physiological shifts inside the body. And fourth, this session activates imagination and symbolic healing. The unconscious mind naturally communicates through image, sensation, metaphor, memory, emotion, dreams, and symbols. And so, this is why this session uses imagery such as safe sanctuaries, healing rain, younger selves, wise protectors, guardians, peaceful landscapes. And so, these symbolic experiences help the deeper mind reorganize emotionally and energetically. And perhaps most importantly, this session is not trying to force healing. That is very important. Many people have spent years trying to force themselves to change, trying to fix themselves, trying to overcome anxiety aggressively, trying to control every thought. And often this creates even more tension. But healing tends to happen more naturally when the nervous system no longer feels attacked, even by ourselves. This session instead offers gentleness, presence, permission, safety, companionship, and from that state, the body often begins unwinding naturally. The subconscious begins softening naturally. The emotional system begins organizing naturally. There is also an important reason why this session repeatedly returns attention to sensory experiences, such as warmth and breathing and textures and scents, because these are grounding in the present moment. Because the nervous system does not live in abstract thought alone, it lives through direct experience. The body learns safety experientially. So, when you imagine warm water, safe spaces, soft blankets, bird song, sunlight, loving presence, supportive protectors, your nervous system can begin responding to those experiences as though they are happening right now. And over time, the body begins learning, I can come back to safety. I can return to regulation. I do not need to live in constant defense. And perhaps one of the most healing parts of all is learning that safety is not only something external, it is also something cultivated internally, an inner relationship, an inner sanctuary, an inner capacity to return to yourself with compassion instead of fear. So, as you enter this experience today, there is no need to perform, no need to visualize perfectly, no need to force anything. Some people experience vivid imagery, some feel emotions, some feel physical sensations, some simply relax deeply. Your unconscious mind already knows how to participate in the way that is right for you. I simply invite you to remain open, remain gentle with yourself, remain curious, allowing, breathing, and perhaps some deeper part of you already knows that healing begins the moment the body finally realizes, I do not have to stay in survival mode forever. Thank you.